You got him 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Welcome to the desert, race fans, as we are here live at the Phoenix International Raceway for the 2017 Upper Edge Racing League's Profile Machine Products Cup Series, live here on the Dre Broadcasting Network. I'm Tanner Sharp, and alongside me in the booth tonight is Mr. David Everly, who's doing double duty, doing all the button-pushing camera angles, and help me call the action here tonight. And Dave, here we are, Phoenix, 2 races to go as we are racing for a championship. We're down to 4 drivers right now, and those 4 drivers is Carl Shed, Michael Araya, Joseph Tice, Shane Tyrion, and those 4 drivers are strictly racing for points in these final races. But now let's kind of do a little bit of a recap here on what happened at Michigan International Speedway a week ago. Carl Shed took the victory, and he is your point leader over Michael Araya and Joseph Tice, and as well as Shane Tyrion. Carl Shed took the victory, led 18 laps. Michael Araya had one of the dominant cars of the day, leading 60 laps out of 100 after starting from the pole. As tonight here at Phoenix, so far on top of the board, you got Carl Shed, championship point leader. He was fastest in practice, I believe, and he was also fastest in qualification. Jacob Adams is in the top 5, Bradley Burke, Michael Araya, and Joseph Tice. Shane Tyrion 6th so far on the grid, but during the practice charts here, it's been pretty much the same thing. Actually, all the championship contenders are in the top 6, so this is going to be a real competitive day here, Dave. And I tell you what, have you ever driven Phoenix on here before? I know you haven't hooked up your wheel in a while, but, I mean, if you have, what do you think about this track?
I tell you what, I find this track challenging, especially coming out once you cross the start-finish line. You have the choice. You can stay up on the track, or you can actually go below the white line, try to cut the corner. The only problem is you got to watch your re-entry back onto the track, because if you do it that way, you got to watch, because it's a bump. It can be a bumpy entry back onto the racetrack, but it is definitely challenging. These drivers are going to have to get off that throttle through these turns, but it should make for some great racing, especially with these guys knowing that they have tonight's race and next week's race. And we are going to crown a champion next week here live on Drury Broadcasting Network.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's kind of give you a little bit of a track description of Phoenix International Raceway. It is a 1 mile, 1.022 mile racetrack. It has 4 turns. The turn 1 and 2, you talked about the banking a little bit. It is kind of low banking, but there's still some banking there, and it kind of opens up some grooves a little bit. Turns 1 and 2 is 10 to 11 degrees of banking. Now, you got to watch out for that dog leg coming off of turn number 2. All these drivers could be taking that dog leg here tonight. It is a night race, so there's plenty of grip to go through that dog leg. And watch for those drivers to cut that dog leg. That dog leg is also 10 to 11 degrees of banking, depending upon which part of the track you're on, and go all the way flat out to the apron, or use the banking a little bit to try to conserve. Turns 3 and 4, 8 to 9 degrees of banking. So it's a relatively very flat through turns 3 and 4. And Dave, there's something we do have to bring up, is that we just had an iRacing update this past Tuesday, which dramatically changes these cars, the Gen 6 NASCAR Monster Energy Cup cars, to their 2018, as close to the 2018 specs. That means there's more tire management, so you can go ahead and go all out with these tires. It's just you'll pay the price later in that run if you stay green. Or you can hang back, save those tires, and it can make a world of difference. iRacing has so far, from what I have seen, done a great job doing the aerodynamic torque maps on these Gen 6s. And they didn't just update the Gen 6s, they've also updated the NASCAR Xfinity Series cars to their specs, make it close to the real-life cars as possible, and as well the Camping World Truck Series trucks. Actually, it's all the stock cars across the board, including the K&N cars. So huge update. We've got Rallycross on iRacing now, and a lot of people have been digging that. That's been pretty fun from what I have seen. I've only did a couple test laps on that, but I'm sure there's somebody in this session here tonight for Phoenix that had done some kind of dirt rally racing. All right, so how many more minutes do we have till qualification here?
We got 2 minutes, but here's the thing too, Tanner, that you got to remember. These guys have only had a couple of days to test this new build, right, and the way the car handles. So these guys are kind of a little bit on edge here tonight, because they don't quite know what to expect from this new package here at Phoenix.
Thank you for bringing that up, Dave, because that's very important information. Today on iRacing, they released a hot fix, which means a quick fix, a quick patch, to fix some issues that were going on, not just with the stock car side, but some rally side as well. But they've also updated the season setups for these cars. So these setups, if these guys did any kind of practice in these Cup cars on the day of the update, which was the build on this past Tuesday, today the season setups were adjusted a little bit. So these drivers are kind of going on just a little bit blind, just a tick on a setup. But the thing is, everybody's driving the same setup, so you don't have to turn around and point the finger of somebody cheating or anything like that. So everybody's driving the same setup. The weather tonight, 78 degrees, track temperature 78 degrees, so it's going to be pretty grippy out there tonight. Just got to be careful on how much you're going to wear your tires. I'm sure everybody is wondering, hey, yeah, but you forgot to mention animated pit crews. That's true. iRacing does have animated pit crews. An actual pit crew, you can see your own pit crew change 4 tires. The thing is, on a spectating side like myself and all of you fine folks at home, you're not going to be able to see the animated pit crews, unfortunately, but I'm sure iRacing is going to get down there. They worked really hard to get this build out, and it's one of the biggest builds of the year. So about 15 seconds left of qualification here, Dave, at Phoenix. With that being said, I kind of want to start maybe kind of going to the grid here, because we're going to have our championship leader and pole sitter of the night, Carl Shed. He ran a 25.854. That's a whale of a fast lap in the Gen 6s here. So let's try to get all these guys gridded up. Another note, since this is Phoenix and it's considered a mile racetrack, these guys are not going to get an extra pace lap. So once they come out pit road, they better start gridding up, because they're coming to the green flag. Usually it's less than a mile on iRacing that it's they would take more than one pace lap. Here at Phoenix, it's going to be only one pace lap, not even a pace lap. Drivers had some practice in. They had about a 50-minute practice, so I guess you can call it a little bit of a happy hour entering this race tonight. So they had some form of practice with this setup. All right, Carl Shed sits on the pole here tonight. He'll be side by side with the number 8 of Jacob Adams as soon as he starts gridding up. Bradley Burke's going to start in 3rd. Michael Araya in 4th. Championship. He's one of the championship contenders. Joseph Tice, another championship contender, in 5th. And Shane Tyrion, the final championship contender, who's on the bottom of the leaderboard. He's got to gain 10 points on the point lead. 2 races, so he's going to have to, and it's certainly doable, but you got to have a lot of luck coming your way. Joshua Adams is going to start in 7th, Michael Fennelson in 8th, Riley Grant Davis in 9th, and rounding out the top 10, Ryan Dyson. Robert Kenny is going to start in the 11th spot, Nick Massey in 12th, Justin Munsell in 13th, Walker Thomas will start 14th, Jamie Dyson 15th, Tommy Imasi in 16th, and rounding out this 17 car field that's going to start up tonight is going to be Corey Blevins. 150 laps here tonight at Phoenix. That's 150 miles. Fuel window, well, depending upon what their fuel load is, I'm going to say, I'm gonna throw a guess on this. About 60 to 70 laps. That's just a guess, but they actually could go longer. But that is my rough estimate guess tonight. And when they do pit, we will try to keep track on who's on what, how many tires, and everything, thanks to our lovely telemetry data. All right, Dave. Final thoughts before we start going green here.
Let's go racing. Who's always ready for some great racing here with Upper Edge.
Oh, yeah, every week these guys pull off some good racing. You could have some cautions here and there, why not? But, hey, they know how to go green flag racing. That's all I can really say about that. And heck, if I had the opportunity, I would drive with these boys. All right, coming to turns 3 and 4, a relatively flat 8 to 9 degrees of banking. And be sure to see them drivers use up that yellow line down there. Heck, maybe the apron down there to get that car to turn a little bit. Pace car is in. Carl Shed on the pole here tonight. Going to take him to the green flag. We are racing at Phoenix. Down in turn number 1, side by side. Look at Jacob Adams in the number 8. iPower Machine Chevrolet SS gets out front in front of the pole sitter Carl Shed, who is the current championship leader. Bradley Burke was battling side by side with Lariah for the lead once again as Jacob Adams leads that lap. Here comes Carl Shed towards the bottom down in turns 1 and 2. It's followed closely by Bradley Burke and the Jegs Chevrolet. A lot of drivers using the dog leg in the early stages of the race here tonight. Burke still trying to work on second. We got a caution flag, an accident in the back.
It looks like that's going to involve the 48 of Nick Massey, I believe. So let's take a look here. Looks like it's going to start with the 88 of Joshua Adams. So let's go back on the Dre Broadcasting replay, focusing on the 88 of Joshua Adams there, side by side with the 28. He goes sideways. That was just enough. The 48 got tapped. He's going to go into the inside wall there. He's going to get spun around. So let's go back here. We'll focus on the 48 as he tried to get through, but it looks like him and the 10 go around. But he completely stops, bringing out our first caution of the night.
Most certainly. It looked like green smoke was coming out of the 48 car, but yeah, that was a little bit of a ricochet checkup. Try checking up towards the guys that were spinning ahead, which was Adams at the time. He saved it, but then the 48 got punted. Brings out the first caution.
Well, the good thing is it didn't look like there was too much damage to those machines, but they are going down on pit road. We have Shane Tyrion on pit road, Michael Fendelson, Ryan Dyson, Walker Thomas, Joshua Adams, Corey Blevins, Jamie Dyson, Tommy Amassi, Robert Kenny, Nick Massey, all down on pit roads. Meanwhile, our top 7 are going to stay out with only 4 laps on their tires.
Yeah, I got 6 guys staying out right there, but... I mean, yeah, 7th on back is really what came down to get all 4 tires. Good looking paint scheme tonight, man. I mean, it's catching my eye. All right, so that's going to bring out the first caution of the evening here at the Phoenix International Raceway. You're still watching the Upper Edge Racing League's Cup Series, the Profile Machine Product Cup Series, powered by Our Expression, Championship Round 4, race number 2.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, also want to tell you tonight, first time that we've tried it, not only are we live on YouTube and on the iRacing.com/live, but we are also live tonight on Twitch, which you can find us at twitch.tv/Dre Broadcasting on Twitch. So a lot of channels for people to tune in and check out iRacing. Definitely a first here. I mean, kind of behind the curve a little bit, but give it a shot and see how it turns out.
So far, it's really working out perfect here, Dave. I mean, so far, I mean, you're pretty stable right now. So hopefully, it doesn't mess everything up right there. But nonetheless.
As the lights are off on the pace car, bringing them through turns 3 and 4, they are back double wide. Quick caution here at Phoenix as the pace car dips off, getting ready to go green flag racing. Carl Shed wastes no time, gets off on the throttle, catches the 8 of Jacob Adams off guard, gets out to a good jump coming into turn number 1.
Yeah, that was a pretty good start right there. Sorry, I had a mic malfunction right there. I hear I'm talking and I'm not coming through very good. But, hey, we're good. We're ready. We're racing. And Carl Shed's got that race lead, but I got a Hornet's Nest back there for 4th spot. That's going to be between Joseph Tice and the 44 of Michael Lariah. Lariah on the higher line of the track. Tice is on the bottom in the 5. Fennelson's followed closely behind, trying to figure out which line to go. A little bit of a check up there. Nobody hitting each other. That's always a good thing. Nice eyes by everybody. So far, the top, six guys are single file.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are doing a good job for not being able to really test these new the new setups under these cars. But they're doing a pretty good job at keeping these cars in check here. I mean, pretty much, as you said, they did the hot fix today on some of these machines. So, I mean, even if they would have tested Tuesday and Wednesday, and pretty much today they did that build here earlier this morning. So, some of these guys, it's probably the first time they've been in since that hot fix.
Yeah, I have not yet tested out the setups here at all. I mean, I did a couple Carburetor Cup races at Talladega, but I mean, it's Talladega, that don't count. But
oh, most definitely. I think tonight, I am gonna get the old wheel out, hook it up, and I think I'm gonna try that rallycross.
Well, there's some pretty good battling back in the pack here. Kind of want to document that. One's the 25. Of Corey Blevins battling Jamie Dyson in the 11. Now, as soon as I start talking about that, they kind of separate each other there. They're going to go back to it here. Oh, man, a little bit of a bumper tag, almost a bumper tag right there. This is at the tail end, Charlie, of the field. Robert Kenny's in the back of the pack. He may sustain some heavy damage there. I have to keep an eye on that. But it still remains Carl Shed out front. Here we go. Battle for second up towards the front. Jacob Adams in the 8th. The 51 of Bradley Burke.
Yeah, I tell you what, Carl Shed's been looking real good this round. As you said, we've seen him win last week. He gets the pole here tonight. So he'd like to come away with that second win. Because I think Carl Shed, he definitely is hungry for that championship. And he would just love nothing better than to come away with a championship. But there's still a lot of good drivers behind him. Michael Laraya there in the 44, sitting in 4th. You got Joseph Tice there sitting in 6th. Shane Terrian kind of dropped back a little bit. He's running back here in 12th. But these guys would also love to put a corkscrew in there and put their name in for the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. But the thing is, we got a lot of racing left. I mean, 2 races doesn't sound like a lot. But believe me, that's a lot of racing to go. Looks like Laraya's trying something on Burke here. Thought about going through the dog leg. Couldn't come up with anything there. Everybody remaining single file up towards the front. Oh, here Bradley Burke might be looking underneath of Adams. Tried to go to that left rear quarter panel. Does not make anything happen yet. Everybody's single file here, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, honestly, I think what they're trying to do is get a feel for the car. They want to get a nice long run in to see what the car is going to do so that they can adjust it. I mean, we're still looking at 137 laps to go as we're under our second caution.
Well, I might see a little bit of a battle in the front here. Maybe not. Oh, we got caution, though. Caution is out.
Yeah, it's going to be the 2 of Justin Munsell here as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting replay. Taking a look here, well, he kind of blinked out a little bit there, and he just got slow on the track. And then I'm not sure what happened, if he lost connection or something, but he just went right down into the turn. And since they can use that dog leg and he stopped there, that brought out our second caution.
He was blinking pretty good. Yeah, I don't see any signs that he got loose. I don't know. That's a hard one to tell.
Well, we do see Carl Shed. He is bringing the entire field down on the pit road for pit stops. It looks like everybody is going to come down on pit road.
You know what I didn't really document was who was moving up in the world. And I tell you what, Fennelson came in under that caution flag, and he was driving the top 5, but couldn't really gain any more after that. So far, every single car, the entire field is down pit road, and pit road's a busy place.
Oh, I can't wait, Tanner, until we're able to see the pit crew animations on the broadcast as a spectator. This is going to be an awesome sight. As you said, I'm sure iRacing is working hard on it. We're going to see it before too long. But Carl Shed, he is going to beat everybody off pit road. Jacob Adams is going to come off 2nd. Michael Laraya coming off 3rd. Michael Fennelston 4th. Bradley Burke, he is going to drop back into 5th.
Bradley Burt came in third, and he lost 2 spots right there. So I'm wondering, did an overshoot of a pit box happen? I'm just going to take a look here just to double check. No, he hit the pit box just right, just a quicker pit work. That's all it was by other drivers.
Yeah, taking a look here. Let's pull up our pit stop times here. Taking a look here. Wait for it to cycle through. Yeah, Carl Shed, he had a 15.28 pit stop. It don't seem right, but Adams, so 14.6, 14.7 for Fenelson, 14.2.
Burt got a 14.7, so if he lost 2 spots on the speedway, the guys ahead of him had faster pit stops.
Yeah, it's I'm showing. Yeah, so pit stops.
All right.
I mean, they're key here.
All right, so let's reset it here. Carl Shed, Jacob Adams, Michael Araya, Michael Fenelson, Bradley Burt. Top 5 coming to take the green flag here at Phoenix. Green flag is out. We're back racing. Justin Munsell fans, he fell through unacceptable level, which means he blinked out, lost connection to the server. So that's very unfortunate for Justin here tonight. Something really had to have happened when he came off turn 2.
Yeah, here in the chat they're saying that his computer froze. Unfortunate. Part of iRacing. Sometimes you have the computer issues, and unfortunately for him, his computer froze, and that caused that incident. Tough luck there for the 2 of Justin Munsell.
Man, Riley Grant Davis is coming up through the field here, man. He just shut that door right, entering turn 1 on Michael Araya, trying to hold his position on track. That's a good-looking Exalta paint scheme from that 24 Chevrolet. Up there towards the front, Riley Grant Davis in the 4 spot right now.
I tell you, Tanner, I'm a little confused with that paint, seeing the 24 on it, but it must be working for him because he is moving through here. Riley Grant Davis started back in 9th and has moved all the way up into 4th. As he is actually going to lose a spot to the 44, Michael Araya.
Battle for the top spot on the speedway right now. Adams looked towards the higher line of the speedway, trying to get around and still working on it. So far, clear around. If he can get a good gun point off the exit of the corner, he's looking towards the inside. Shed's going to try to throw a little bit of a block. Not giving it here tonight. Shed's racing for a championship. Adams is not. But Adams like, hey, man, I still can race. I'm still eligible to race. That's why I'm here. Going down in turn number 3. Shed realizes he's got the run on entrance. Give him a little bit of room here. Shed gets a nice run on corner exit. Here comes Fenelson with a nice run on corner exit. Down in turn 1 and 2. Fenelson trying to use that higher line, that same line that Jacob Adams was using. Adams has changed up his line a little bit now. Here comes Fenelson.
Looks like Fennelson's going to get that good push off of turn 4. He is also going to be bringing the 44, Michael Araya, with him. It's Michael Araya now trying the outside on the 8 of Jacob Adams. So looks like that outside lane's starting to come into effect here.
Yeah, Adams has already lost 2 spots due to that outside line of Fenelson. Oh, we got a caution on the speedway. Laraya's blinking everywhere, but that's not the cause of the caution flag. Caution flag is out. We got a
88.
88.
88 of Joshua Adams involved in that as we pull up the Dre Broadcasting instant replay here. Looked like 3 wide action through the dog leg. And contact between the 88 and the 51. Also the 18 machine. Walker Thomas involved in that. Heavy damage to the 88 and the 18.
Looks like the 51 machine there took the dog leg as the 51 obviously had to come back up onto the racetrack to make the corner of turn number 3, and there was not a lot of room for the 51 to come back up on the track because the 88 never moved at all. A little bit of miscommunication on a couple of drivers here on track. Looks like it's going to take out 3 cars. The 88 of Adams, the 18 of Walker Thomas, and the Bradley Burke 51.
Yeah, but it looks like the 18 of Walker Thomas and the 88 got the most of the damage. Bradley Burke, he's got some front end damage, not as bad as the others. So we'll have to see, because the 88 is completely missing his whole front clip.
Tell you what, the 8-carb Joshua Adams has now become the Lone Ranger out on the track here tonight at Phoenix because he stayed out. Everybody else hit it.
Well, here's the question. He's got 10 laps on his tires. How is that going to fare?
Yeah, that's the longest that we have seen so far. Earlier it was like, what, 4 laps, so it really didn't make too much of a difference. But this is a good experience, good learning experience right here, because you're coming to complete 25 laps into this race, and you know, it's a good experience to try to see if these tires are going to work or how bad the tires are wearing. So good experience here. But who's in second place? That is the 24 of Riley Grant Davis. Came in 5th, out 2nd. Did he take 2 tires?
Taking a look at his pit time, I think he did. His pit time was only 9 seconds, so he may be experimenting a little bit with 2 tires.
2 tires he did take. You're absolutely right there, Dave. So experimenting the 2 tires strategy here. Tell you what, Riley Grant Davis is having such a great run in the opening stages of tonight's event here, running in the top 5, making that outside line work. So far, good stuff. All right, well, pace car lights are still turned on. There was no lucky dog. Justin Munsell is actually back into the server after his computer froze. So, yeah, but he's 11 laps down, so he's just pretty much turning last laps here at Phoenix, and then a best of luck next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. So coming down to see if we can take the pace car lights, turn them off. Let's see here. I assume they will because there was no lucky dog. And they are. So here we go. Joshua Adams will be out front on no tires. No fresh Goodyears on that number 8 machine. Second place, the Exalta Chevrolet of Riley Grant Davis on 2 tires. Third place, Carl Shedd, championship leader and pole sitter of the night. He's on 4 tires. He's going to round off in 3rd. Fennelson on 4 tires is in 4th. And 5th place, Michael Araya. A little bit, before we go green, a little bit of an update on drivers who were involved in that recent caution. Joshua Adams does more significant damage. His nose is completely gone. All you can see is suspension, at least on my screen. He's going to be 1 lap down in 16th. Walker Thomas has got some major damage in 15th, 1 lap down. And the first car 1 lap down, that is. Bradley Burke, tail end Charlie, significant damage. But he's still on the lead lap. Jacob Adams is going to come take the green flag here tonight. Here we go, green flag. We're back racing here at Phoenix. Going to be going down in turn number 1 and 2. That is 10 to 11 degrees of banking. Everybody utilizing the bottom line of the racetrack. Let's see what's the difference between no tires and 2 tires, because this is a battle for the lead between the number 8 of Jacob Adams. The iPower Chevrolet just lost the lead just like that to Riley Grant Davis, who's going to come out of the turn 4 with his Exalta Chevrolet to lead a lap on 2 tires. Carl Shedd on 4 tires, battling side by side with Adams down in turns 1 and 2. There should be a no contest here if 2 tires were a no contest. Still fighting, still trying to hang on though, using up the dog leg, the guys with 4 fresh tires, and it's working to their advantage. Fennelson and Shedd get by Adams. So far, the 2 tires are holding up pretty nicely here. Dave, this is a pretty good run for Riley. I said he's having a great run tonight so far. But look at that. Oh, Tice is in trouble. Tice is in trouble. Tice walked up the racetrack just a little bit. That's going to cost him. Might cost him a spot to Michael Araya. Tice and Adams both walked up the track in turns 1 and 2. So far, pretty good racing here. Now, Adams is dropping like a rock on them old tires. He's just trying to hang on to dear life. Battle behind Adams, championship contender Shane Tyrion is battling the 28 of Ryan Dyson down in turn number 3. A little bit of loosey-goosey on Dyson's end here. Here comes Tyrion side by side. Nothing happening up towards the front right now. Actually, that Shane Tyrion battle back there and Ryan Dyson is the first side-by-side battle on the Speedway.
Yeah, Shane Tyrion, he's trying to crack into the top 7 there as he's side by side with the 28 of Ryan Dyson. Just not able to get around him just yet because Ryan Dyson's getting them good runs off the exits as they are still door-to-door out of turn 4.
Let's keep in mind that there is a championship going on between 4 drivers here in this series of the Upper Profile Machine Products Cup Series. Carl Shed, Michael Araya, Joseph Tice, Shane Tyrion. Shane Tyrion is actually 10 points out of the lead, and he's actually one of the last drivers on the track right now. That's a championship contender in 8th place.
Yeah, the other 3 drivers, I mean, we got Carl Shed. Actually, he's got a battle right now with the 14 of Michael Fennelson, but Fennelson just not able to complete the pass. But they got to watch the 44 Michael Orion and Joseph Tice are right behind him. Caution
is out on the Speedway here. This is going to consist Jamie Dyson in the dogleg coming off turn number 2. Oh, it looks like the Dyson boys got together.
Well, as we take a look at the 11 of Jamie Dyson here, we're going to focus on him as he was riding right behind the 25 machine of Corey Blevins. So see coming out of the turn. Oh, not sure what happened, but the 11 and the 25, heavy damage. Let's see if we can get a better look at that here.
Looks like Blevins got a little loose.
Yeah, the back end just kicked loose on the 25, the 11, nowhere to go. Oh, not a way to start your race there for Corey Blevins, unfortunately. Also, the 11 of Jamie Dyson, who was having a pretty good run.
All right, so that was a short green flag run. I assume Jacob Adams in the 8 car is going to come down pit road. Actually, everybody's coming down pit road. I guess tires really mean a lot because that was only a brief green flag run right there, Dave. How many laps was that? That was probably, that was a good 10 laps right there. So, yeah, I mean, that's about right. But Jacob Adams is going to come down pit road, and that strategy did not work out for him, but still remains in the top 10.
Well, the 18 machine of Walker Thomas, he did stay out. I think he is in spot for the Lucky Dog, so he will be getting, hopefully, back on the lead lap here. Should be getting waved around the pace car, unless he got involved in that incident. But he's staying out, trying to get back on the lead lap.
Look at the 8 car go. He wants that track position. He takes 2 tires.
Yeah, and also look at Michael Fennelson. He gets out before Carl Shed. Carl Shed's going to drop back into 3rd.
Actually, Carl Shed took 4 tires.
I think Michael Fennelson did too. He just beat him off pit road.
Yeah. Fennelson took 4 tires. The only one that should be on 2 tires is the 8 of Adams.
Well, so far here tonight, Tanner, I mean, Carl Shed leading 25 laps. Jacob Adams, he's led 6 laps, and Riley Grant Davis has led 5 laps. So we've got 3 drivers out here that have got the bonus points for leading a lap.
All right. So far, the goals drivers that Dave mentioned collecting bonus points for leading a lap. It's pretty nifty to feel like gives you good spirits when you lead a lap in a race, especially a cup race. We should be able to get the green flag not the green flag, the pace car lights should turn off this time by. Have to keep an eye on the pace car lights. We are in turns 3 and 4 with the pace car. At Ford Mustang pace car, pacing the field for tonight and all the other iRacing races. Actually, not all of them. Usually on dirt, it's either a truck or one of them rough cars, those road cars. Do the road series.
Unfortunately, Tanner, it looks like the 51 of Bradley Burke has taken his car to the hauler and called it in a night here tonight at Phoenix.
He was having a pretty good run, too, in the top 5 earlier, but he's going to have to call it a night tonight. Pace car lights are off. So with that being said, Jacob Adams on 2 tires. Is he going to be able to hold up towards the front? Let's find out. Fennelson is on 4 tires, second. Shed is on 4 tires. Lariah is on 4 tires. Pretty much everybody on back is 4 tires. Riley Grant Davis is 5th, rounding out that top 5. So here we go. Pace car's in. And we're back green flag racing at Phoenix once again here tonight under the lights. Down in turn number 1. Can these 2 tires hold up for Jacob Adams? He's got to hold off a pack of wolves behind him. So far, it's working out to the advantage. Look at Kyle Shed, really low on the dog leg apron down there, trying to get underneath Fennelson. And so far, those 2 drivers are going to battle side by side. I think Fennelson's going to get the run off here, turn number 4. He does. But Adams, those 2 tires, he needed tires. He needed stickers to keep him up towards the front, and that's what's working out for him.
Also, Tanner, the 88 of Joshua Adams, has taken his car behind the wall, calling it in a night here at Phoenix as well.
So that's Bradley Burke, Justin Munsell, Bradley Burke, and Joshua Adams calling it a night tonight here at Phoenix with sustaining heavy damage. We might see a battle for the race lead heating up here, Dave, because here comes Fennelson. He's been really eyeing up that 8 car.
It's just interesting to see all the different lines they run here through the dogleg, but the 14's going to put his nose down underneath the 8. He is going to make him move up, but nope. The 8 gets that power move on the exit of the turn. He's going to maintain the lead.
Man, we keep getting these short runs. A lot of these drivers could probably take 2 tires and go. But the 4 fresh stickers on everybody else, with the exception of that 8 car, has been running pretty solid here. So far, it is Jacob Adams holding off the race lead thus far. Michael Fennelson, Carl Shed, Michael Araya, Ryan Dyson cracking the top 5. Good job on Dyson's part. He started 10th. Another driver kind of moving up who's cracked the top 10. Nick Massey started 12th, up to 8. Now, where are my championship contenders here? Did talk about Shed, talked about Lariah. Shane Terrian is in 6th. And dropping back is Joseph Tice. Tice is now in 9th, started 5th. Oh boy, those drivers are getting closer and closer to that wall coming off the exit of turn number 2. Everybody's remaining single file so far here, Dave.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we still looking at 107 laps to go here at Phoenix. We've had 4 cautions here tonight, but can't blame these guys because, like I said earlier, these guys, most of them did not get to test and see how this new build is going to work on these cars. So a lot of these drivers, this is the first time in the car knowing how the car is going to handle on a long run.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So this is going to be very curious to see, because this is like going to be the longest green flag run eventually if we stay green. So far we're in the ballpark to get another caution, but hopefully it doesn't really happen.
I tell you what, man, I'm just surprised though at the 8 of Jacob Adams, 2 tires, and he is starting to pull away from the 14 of Michael Fennelson. So he must have found something to where he knows what line to run with them 2 tires, because he is actually pulling away, now leading 3/10 over second place 14 of Michael Fennelson.
The left side of the tires can't be wearing that much, but I think the right side is. If you can exchange those right side tires and just go down and get 2 tires, you're able to hang and you're able to stay up towards the front, because there is no ground lost right now between the 8 and the 14. It's been pretty much solid between the 2 drivers, 0.3 of a second each lap, just between those 2 drivers. So 2 tires is working here tonight at Phoenix.
Yeah, taking a look, we've got 12 cars still on the lead lap. Walker Thomas back in 13th. He is the first car lap down. So if the yellow comes out and he doesn't get involved in the incident, he will get the lucky dog back on the lead lap. 14th place, Corey Blevins. He is down on pit road as his pit crew's trying to fix the damage on that car, as we see Jacob Adams still leading here. now up to a 5/10 second lead over Michael Fenelson.
Man, I tell you what, the 8 car is loosey-goosey off turn number 4 last time by. He's been kind of fighting that wheel a little bit, but I tell you what, he's working really hard in that number 8 machine. The iPower Chevrolet is working really hard tonight.
Well, let's go on board here with the 8 of Jacob Adams. Let's see him work at wheel, see how much he's not really working it. He's just doing, it looks like he's got good throttle control. Oh, as he gets real close to that wall off of turn 1, coming into the dog leg. I mean, he had just millimeters between him and the wall, but he's got a nice steady wheel. He's not really working it too much there, Tanner. I think he's got it figured out here tonight with his throttle control.
Yeah, sometimes the car kind of wants to feel like it's tight in corners of turn number 2 here, but at the same time it wants to snap loose as he gets another close to the wall again. Last time by, it was another 10th gain by Michael Fenelson. Still remaining about 0.3 of a second on the speedway, but I do like Adams' line in turns 3 and 4. He's kind of entering kind of high and then taking off low. That time by was middle of the track completely. Actually gained a couple hundredths of a second on the Fenelson gained a couple hundredths of a second on Adams.
Yeah,
Ooh, running it a little high now.
Third. These front 4 are actually starting to pull away from the rest of the field here. As Michael Fenelson is trying to catch the 8. Carl Shedd right there behind him.
Oh, battle for the lead. Sorry for interrupting you, David, like that, but man, I thought Adams was going to hit the wall off turn number 2, and man, I think those 2 tires are starting to wear off right now without the support of the left side tires. Oh man, he's getting closer to that wall, and you said millimeters or whatever it was. In other words, can't fit a piece of paper between the 2. Throughout the dog leg here, I think he's going to be overtaken here, the 8 of Adams. He's changed up his line before he lost the lead, and when he did that, he definitely lost the race lead.
Yes, we have now just completed lap 54 here, lap 55. 96 laps to go here tonight. As we've got a battle for second here is Carl Shedd working on the 8. He is trying to get up and battle the 14 of Michael Fenelson, who is now leading his first set of laps here tonight.
Believe it or not, this has been the longest green flag of the run here tonight at Phoenix. Jamie Dyson on bottom of the track in 3 and 4, heavily sustained damage. But we've already worked 19 laps right now on the longest green flag of the run, the night. So far, Adams is still hanging on really tough, though, man. I'm surprised he's able to hang on this long.
Yeah, it's unfortunate there for the 45, though. I mean, he needs to get around him, not battle the 8 if he wants to try to catch that 14, but he just cannot shake the 8 of Jacob Adams.
Carl Shedd could be playing consistent mode as well. He doesn't have to battle, and nor should he, because anything could happen. Here we go, 3 wide for second place. Shedd's going to wisely back out of this. In that middle lane there, Lariah on the bottom in the 44 car. Going to battle him. That gave Adams technically second place with that 3 wide move. Lariah really didn't gain anything out of that.
No, I think it put all the drivers on edge, though.
It gave me a jump. just think how they felt. All right. Well, everybody's kind of remaining single file here at the moment, Dave. Nobody pulling out of line to try to make a pass. Kind of scrolling through the field here to see if there's any battles. Not really. 11 cars remain on the lead lap.
Yes, the 11 of Jamie Dyson, he has went down a lap now here. He's missing his whole front clip as well. But he is 1 lap down. He is actually ahead of the 18 of Walker Thomas. who's running about 3.3 seconds behind him. So Walker Thomas needs to get up there, get around him to try to be in that lucky dog spot. But these guys doing pretty good here as we are 25 laps into this green flag run.
There was some contact between Michael Araya and Carl Shed, maybe just ever so slightly, but they got really awfully close together last time by in turn 2.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are 61 laps completed here tonight, 90 laps to go. We are going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the night. We'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network to bring you more action from Phoenix with the Upper Edge Racing Profile Machine Products Cup Series powered by our Expression. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we are bringing you continuing coverage of the Upper Edge Racing Profile Machine Products Cup Series powered by our Expression. The round of 4. Only one race left after tonight, and we will crown a champion for the 2017 Upper Edge Profile Machine Cup Series here on Upper Edge and Dre Broadcasting Network. Once again, I am Dave Everly. I'm joined by Tanner Sharp in the booth here as we are continuing coverage still under green flag conditions. 35 lap green flag run here at Phoenix as we are on lap 70. Only 81 laps to go as we are approaching the halfway point of tonight's race.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Adams has been on them tires, have been sticking up towards the front. And it's really paid off for him so far. He's battling for that second spot to Michael Araya. He's going to get him there. Good run off turn number 4.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, these guys, like I said earlier, you know, they just needed a little bit of time. Most of these guys, the first time they've been with this new build, new setup under these cars. But it looks like they're starting to see what these cars will do on the long run here. Still unsure of what the pit window is. So hopefully here before too long, we'll start seeing some green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see some green pit stops because that could change the name of the game just a little bit. Battle for second still beginning on the racetrack. That's Laraya on the bottom, Adams on the higher line. Adams really hanging tough in that 8 car on 2 tires.
Yeah, it looks like the 2 tires, I mean, it might, I think some of these other drivers may be starting to see, holy cow, he's holding off with 2 tires. We might need to rethink our strategy and maybe think of some 2-tire pit stops.
Yeah, I don't know how beneficial it will be right now for 2 tires, but because we've had this long green flag run already, I think the 2 tires are gonna, or the 4 tires are gonna work out the best.
Yeah, I mean, especially with just a mile track here at Phoenix. I mean, these guys are pretty much going to go a lap down anyways once they go down on the pit road. So, I mean, they're running 26-second lap times. Usually, once they're in the pit stall, it's 13, 14 seconds. Plus the few seconds it takes to get down there because these guys got to slow it up down on pit road for pit road speed. So, I mean, there's a lot of things, but we are watching a 44 Michael Araya. He is still battling the 8 of Jacob Adams. Jacob Adams fighting back hard on that outside. Fenelson just not able to get around him.
Put it this way, when you talk about lap times, iRacing's goal in these Cup cars in this last build was when you're running in a race, in a long race like this here tonight, 150 laps, iRacing's goal is to make sure the tire fall off is anywhere from 1 second to 3 seconds, matching real life lap times. And tonight it's pretty much just been almost a second in race trim times. What's the best lap time here right now in the race trim? Would be a 26.113 by Fenelson, who's leading right now. And right now he's running a 27.663, so over a second and a half. Or actually a second and a half difference from his best lap time to what he's running right now, and he's in clean air. So that is a difference right there, and that's what iRacing's goal was trying to do. As Carl Shed throws the block on Laraya entering 1, here goes Shed. He's going to try to get around the 8 car of Jacob Adams. So you would usually see a good tire fall off depending upon the racetrack, though. That Phoenix is the repaved Phoenix here tonight. We do have the older pavement, but these drivers are using the repaved. So tire wear ain't going to fall off drastically. It's a second and a half right now, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are now 43 laps since their last pit.
Yep. And you get the tracks like, for example, Texas Motor Speedway. That's a bumpy racetrack. Chicagoland's a bumpy racetrack. You could probably fall off about 3 seconds. Just because it's an older surfaces and the tires wear more.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what the fall off at Auto Club. I know that's a real bumpy track.
Yeah, the Auto Club's a very bumpy track, especially down the back straightaway. Here comes Shed again, man. He's been closing the door on corner exit on the 8 of Adams. Adams just trying to hang on.
But look who's right behind him, the 28 of Ryan Dyson. He's come out of nowhere.
Yeah, where did he come from? Shed clears Adams here. Right now, Dyson, the 28 of Ryan Dyson, making his presence felt in the top 5. Look behind Laraya, Shane Tyrion. Shane Tyrion is actually in the 6th spot, still remains 6th. Behind Shane Tyrion is a 24 car of Riley Grant Davis, Exalta Chevrolet. All championship contender drivers are in the top 8. All 4 of them.
Yeah, but here's the question, though. Michael Fenelson, he's got a 1.1 second lead over Carl Shed. Can Carl Shed... Actually, he is starting to close that gap. It was 1.2. It's 1.1 now. So, Carl Shed, taking a look at the last lap times here, Carl Shed ran a 57 or 27.519. Michael Fennison a 27.597. So Carl Shed is just a click faster than Michael Fennison, but he may be pushing more, trying to get caught up to him.
Don't know if you've noticed this, Dave, but that 1.2 seconds was the biggest lead we've seen from a race leader all night long. Otherwise, it's been pretty much a nose to tail, maybe about 5/10 of a second back from second place. So this is kind of one of the biggest leads we've seen so far here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually closed it almost to under a second now. So Carl Shed is eating away at that lead a little bit. But the question is, these guys have already ran 48 laps. So probably within the next 10 laps, you would say maybe a green flag pit stop?
Yeah, eventually. I would say, I don't know. I want to say maybe a good 10 to 20 laps, but I can be wrong. We have yet to see green flag pit stops. But usually every week, knowing me, Dave, I'm always trying to see who's going to be the longest one to stay out there, because that's going to give me the idea of who's going to push it. And we've already seen quite a few caution flags here tonight, so they got some fuel in these cars.
Yeah, it looks like Tommy Amassi's down on pit road. Or just now coming off the pit road, so he has already done a green flag pit stop. That is, he was actually already a lap down, so now he is 2 laps down.
So far, the top 9 drivers are separated by 4 seconds on the speedway. But look at the mess behind. The 8th of Adams on back, battling with Dyson. Shane Tyrion's actually moving on up in the world today. He's cracked the top 5, getting past Michael Araya. Araya tried really hard for the longest time to get around the 8 earlier, and now he's starting to fall back. Maybe this is the sign that, oh, I used up my tires. Now I'm getting past, and here comes the 24 of Riley Grant Davis.
Yeah, Riley Grant Davis unable to complete that pass on the 44, but also the 28 of Ryan Dyson. He's working, trying to get around the 8. I don't know if, no, he's not going to be able to clear him out of this turn, maybe. No, he's not, because here comes Jacob Adams. But I am just shocked at how well Adams is doing with those 2 tires.
I think a lot of it has to do with this iRacing build and all the changes that iRacing has done to these Cup cars to get the torque map really identical to the real life cars. Actually, I can pull up a release note here to say exactly what it is, just to give, if anybody's curious. It'll take me a little bit to pull them up as the racing still begins. Oh, a little loosey-goosey from the 8 car. Left, right, left, right. That's the way I play golf.
Yeah, but is this going to let the 28 be able to clear him? No, he is still going to stay side by side with the 28. He got a little loose there, but he is, I tell you what, I have to give the 8 of Jacob Adams props. Got a little loose there. You figured he would lose some time and positions, but no. He has come right back and is still battling the 28 right now for that number 3 position. So it's a good battle here, but meanwhile, they got to watch behind them because Shane Tyrion's there. Also is Michael Araya and Riley Grant Davis.
Oh, boy, we're getting there now.
Also up front, Carl Shed has now closed the gap to 6/10 behind the 14 of Michael Fennison. Michael Fennison now, he has led 37 laps here tonight. Led the most laps. Carl Shed leading 25. Jacob Adams leading 22. And Riley Grant Davis leading 5. So taking a look at our race report so far, we've had 4 cautions here tonight, 6 lead changes. Fastest lap of the night, as you said earlier, was by the 14 of Michael Fennison with a 26.113.
Tell you what, Fennison is loosey-goosey off turn number 2, and Shed is coming. Shed and Fennison have just pulled off the biggest lead we've seen all night long, 3 seconds. And Fennison is actually falling into the clutches of Shed right now.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if maybe the 14 burned his stuff up, or maybe he's conserving, kind of got out into the fresh, got that big lead, backed off a little bit, said, all right, I'll let you burn your stuff up trying to catch me. I'm just going to save my stuff.
He scraped the wall off turn 2 just a tick.
Yeah, I mean, he's still holding. Carl Shed is close at the 0.5 of a second now. Meanwhile, there's 2.3 seconds between Carl Shed and Ryan Dyson, who was able to get around the 8. The 8 of Jacob Adams is actually fallen. No, they are coming down pit road, him and Shane Tyrion. Green flag pit stops.
You called it, Dave. Green flag pit stops. Let's see here. That was 58 laps for those two drivers coming down pit road. Guess what? 58 laps to go. So we know these guys can pretty much make it to the end now with everybody else staying out.
Yeah, most definitely. But Michael Fenelson, Carl Shed, and Ryan Dyson, they're all staying out. You figured with Shane Tyrion and the 8 of Adams going down pit road, this would bring the leaders down. But they stay out for another lap here. See how long they're going to stay out. It looks like right now the 8 of Adams and Shane Tyrion 1 lap down as they are making their way off pit road.
Nobody else is down pit road except lap cars who have sustained some kind of damage. The main cars that are on a lead lap in that top 10 mix have yet to see pit road with the exception of Adams and Tyrion. This might be a good move on Tyrion's part because, you know, he cracked the top 5, and then he decided, okay, I'm going to try to pit here, try to gain that early pit stop, and I'm going to try to go to the end. Because we've seen how much tires were really wearing off. They weren't really wearing off that much, according to Jacob Adams on them 2 right side tires, and he still hung in the top 5.
Yeah, these guys are still staying out. I mean, they're now 61 laps since their last pit. Is Michael Fenelson, Carl Shed, top 2, Ryan Dyson sitting in 3rd, Michael Laraya sitting in 4th, Bradley Grant Davis in the top 5 again, running out your 5th position.
Fenelson down pit road. He's the Lone Ranger on pit road, surrenders the lead to Carl Shed. Last time by at the line, Shane Tyrion with the 26.295 compared to Carl Shed's 27.834. That is over a second and a half. That's huge.
Yeah, that's huge, but that just means how long is the 45 going to stay out? When's he going to come down on pit road? He does stay out another lap. Ryan Dyson down on pit road as we speak. So Ryan Dyson surrenders 2nd place. He is down on pit road.
Hitting pit road now.
That's going to move Michael Laraya up into 2nd, Riley Grant Davis 3rd, Joseph Tice 4th, Nick Massey rounding out your top 5.
Fennelson's now getting out of pit road. Fennelson had a 15.2 second pit stop. A little longer than usual. Believe it or not, Adams actually had a 16.2. Still trying to see here. This is, I mean, it could be anybody's race yet. 52 laps to go. 4 cautions for 14 laps.
Carl Shed, he is going to stay out 65 laps since his last pit. Michael Laraya, Riley Grant Davis stay out. Joseph Tice and Nick Massey all stay out. Right now, our top 6, with Robert Kenny being there in 6th position, our top 6 still need to pit.
Fenelson was the fastest car on the track last time by. I want to compare where Fenelson is to Shane Tyrion. Tyrion is down in turns 3 and 4 right now, while Fenelson is just now in 3 and 4. Shane Tyrion at the line now. Fenelson at the line now. That's the gap between the 2 drivers. I don't have a timing and scoring between those 2 drivers on separation. But Fenelson is actually, Adams might fall into the clutches of Fenelson here.
Well, as we see the 38 of Shane Tyrion, he's just now getting around 5th place to 48 of Nick Massey. Now working his way on the 5 of Joseph Tice. As we see the 48 down on pit road. Now just our top 4 left to pit.
Joseph Tice, Riley Grant Davis, Michael Laraya, and Carl Shed have yet to make a pit stop here.
These guys, 67 laps since their last pit.
Yeah, I did say it was in the ballpark, wasn't it? About 60 to 70 laps.
They might push it a little further here, though.
It
But
could be.
But here's the thing too. Shane Tyrion pitted 10 laps ago. When these guys come down, they're going to have 10 to maybe 15 laps, newer, fresher tires. So that could also hurt Shane Tyrion from pitting so early.
It could. I'm just curious how this is going to play out. Right now, it's pretty much a sit and wait game on Shane Tyrion. Just run laps, log some laps right now. See where we're going to end up right now. As Robert Kenny going by Carl Shed there, at least on my screen. Kenny is actually on fresher tires than Shed. But so far, these guys looks like they might hit 70 laps coming up this time by, unless they decide to go down pit road. Fastest car on the racetrack so far is Ryan Dyson. Pretty much a little over a second over Carl Shed. The 5 of Joseph Tice, championship contender, is in. Tice is in after 69 laps. Carl Shed, Lariah, Riley Grant Davis spent 70 laps since they last visited pit road, including caution laps. So that would be about, what, 68 laps under green flag condition?
Look who's right behind Carl Shed. Shane Tyrion.
Shane Tyrion. He's back on the lead lap. He's back on the lead lap. He just unlapped himself. He did the old way. That was huge. I'd say come down pit road now, but I think this might hand the lead over to Shane Tyrion.
Yeah, because that moves him up into 4th position now, so he's running 4th right now. So only the top 3 left to pit. Riley Grant Davis down on pit road. The 24 down on pit road. Leaves just our top 2. They have ran 72 laps since their last pit.
Curious to see where everybody's going to end up right here. The drivers that have pitted early have taken that early advantage, like Shane Tyrion. Jacob Adams currently in 6th. Fenelson got around Adams, but has not really closed any gap on Shane Tyrion. It's been pretty steady between the drivers.
Well, I'm showing Shane Tyrion's 24 seconds behind 2nd place of Michael Lariah on the track in closing, so...
Tyrion's ran faster lap times than Fenelson and Adams. So, I mean, Tyrion's, that strategy might pay off. So far, Lariah and Shed stay out.
Well, here's the thing, though. With people being on the lead lap, though, Shane Tyrion moving up into 3rd. If Carl Shed and Michael Lariah pit, and Shane Tyrion can go the rest of the race, that might put Carl Shed and Michael Lariah a lap down. They're going to have to earn their lap back the hard way.
Yeah, but Shane Tyrion's already on the lead lap here. If we get a caution, Shed and Lariah pit, which they have to, that will surrender the lead over to Shane Tyrion.
Well, the only thing is, I think if we get a caution, I think Shane Tyrion's going to come down on pit road. I mean, he's not going to take that lead. He's going to come down, get 4 fresh stickers and a tank of fuel, because he's going to be lined up right there in the starting in the 3rd position unless he's involved in the incident. That's going to put him in 3rd. He's going to need them fresh tires to be able to compete with Carl Shed and Michael Lariah, who have ran 76 laps. Just our top 2 are the only ones left to pit. Only 6 cars left on the lead lap.
I disagree. I think someone's going to take the gamble. And if everybody does come down pit road, hell, if I was Shane Tyrion, I'd take 2 tires. You've seen how 2 tires worked with Jacob Adams. I mean, that would be a good strategy call. The only 2 drivers that can't afford to take 2 tires is going to be Shed and Lariah. That you know for sure. But we still remain green here. And it would be Shane Tyrion. And actually, Tyrion's actually been running... And last time by, Fenelson ran a faster lap time. Alright, we might see a battle for the lead, because I see Lariah's gunned down Shed.
Shed's going down on pit road.
And the lead over to Lariah. Michael Lariah, your new race leader. Where, oh where, is this going to put Carl Shed, who sat on the pole tonight? He's your championship leader right now. Was this a good call on Carl Shedd's part, or was this a bad call? Gotta remember, when he comes back out, he's got to run 37 laps. And here comes Michael Laraya. Michael Laraya is down pit road. Shane Tyrion coming turns 3 and 4. Got a decent sized gap over Michael Fennelson, about 2 seconds.
The question is he going to be able to put the... Oh, nope, Carl Shedd is going to stay on the lead lap. He's going to get off pit road.
Yeah, he's going to stay on the lead lap. But where is this going to drop him, though?
Let's see, I'm currently showing Carl Shedd back in 9th position. We got 37 laps to go.
All right, and Shane Tyrion is your new race leader by about 1.8 seconds. So here's some questions before we reach tonight's conclusion of the race. Question A: can Shane Tyrion hold on to this race lead? He's got a 1.8 second gap over Michael Fennelson. That will change on live timing and scoring this time by at the start-finish line. See if Fennelson gained on him. He did, 0.2 of a second. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. The other question remains is Carl Shedd and Michael Laraya. Shedd is in 7th, Laraya in 9th. Can they get back towards the front and try to win this race? Those are the two questions. I'm curious on how this is going to play out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now just 34 laps to go. We are going to take our last commercial break of the night and bring you the conclusion of tonight's race. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on the Dre Broadcasting Network.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back to the Phoenix International Speedway. You are watching the Upper Edge Racing League's Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by Our Expression. The gap has closed drastically since we just came, when we were last live here during that commercial break. You see on the side by side, Fenelson has caught Shane Tyrion, now down to 0.4 of a second. He is catching him. Shane Tyrion, what a good move, but he's got to hold him off though. Yeah, right now he's got to get in defense mode. In that defense mode, he's got to hold him off for 25 more laps at Phoenix. So far, if we do get a caution flag, it could change up the game plan between these two drivers. Here comes Fenelson using a different line in turns 1 and 2. Getting extremely close to that bumper. He's going to try to cut him off here. He's going to the dog leg. He's going to the bottom. That cost a little time to Fenelson. Fenelson is not going to be denied. A little bit of a block here. He's still blocking. Maybe contact. On the bottom goes Fenelson. Nothing happening. Down in turn number 1. This is a battle for the race lead and possibly for the win.
I don't know.
Oh, contact!
Contact!
Yeah, contact between the leaders.
Well, another thing we got to look at though, Tanner, Carl Shedd and Michael Lariah. Seen them guys running up front. They were the last to pit. They're running 7th and 8th right now, only 11 seconds behind our race leader. Can they catch them in the next 23 laps?
And before we went to commercial break, they were in 7th and 9th. Lariah was in 9th. So clearly, Carl Shedd has not gained on any of these drivers up ahead from 6 up front. But battle for that top spot between Fenelson and Tyrion. No contest. Fenelson is faster. Little loosey-goosey from Shane Tyrion off turn number 4. We have a new leader, Michael Fenelson.
Well, I think unless Carl Shedd can get up here, Michael Fenelson's going to come away with leading the most laps. Taking a look here, Carl Shedd now 10 seconds back from our race leader, 9.9. So he is actually gaining here. Taking a look, Carl Shedd ran a 26.9 last lap. Fenelson a 27.4, so he is running faster laps.
He is running faster laps indeed. So Fenelson, your race leader. Shane Tyrion. What a call by Shane Tyrion. Maybe not getting the win tonight, but I mean it was good. It's great. It's got to be great to come out in the points like that. The game championship points on your championship competitors, because Shane Tyrion was 10 points back from Carl Shedd. And Shedd is back in 7th. Lariah is in 8th. And the other championship competitor is Joseph Tice, who's in 5th.
Yeah, he's going to make up some valuable points, but, I mean, we still got a lot of racing to go. 20 laps left to go here at Phoenix. A lot could happen.
A lot could happen indeed. Heck, we could see a caution here to screw that whole plan up, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm telling you, I bet you any money, we get a caution, I bet you they all come down pit road for tires and fuel. Maybe not fuel, but they all come down for fresh tires. I don't think anybody's going to stay out. Well, maybe Joseph Tice and Carl Shedd and them. They've got 19, 20 laps on their tires. Michael Fenelson, 36 laps. And Shane Tyrion's got 40. So, I mean, that could also play. But we got Michael Fenelson out front. Shane Tyrion second. Ryan Dyson third. Jacob Adams, he's sitting back in 4th. Joseph Tice rounding out your top 5.
I think that was a bad pit strategy call on Shedd and Lariah's part. I think they gave too much valuable ground on the track. Shedd is still in 7th place. Hasn't really gained a whole much on Riley Grant Davis for 6th. So, but
well,
I tell you what,
he's only 5/10 behind Riley Grant Davis.
You might catch him. I mean, if we don't get I mean, right now, if this remains green, he has no shot at winning the race tonight.
Now, taking a look at our 3rd place, Ryan Dyson, he's 1.1 second behind Shane Tyrion. So Shane Tyrion's got a chance here of losing that. Is Ryan Dyson's got about 5 lap newer tires than Tyrion does. So, I mean, we're seeing the difference there is Ryan Dyson's closed it up to under a second now.
Looks like Tyrion, his tire fall off is not, he's falling off right now because he's falling into the clutches of Dyson, as you said. You got to go a ways back about almost 4 or 5 seconds to fourth spot, which is being contested between Jacob Adams and Joseph Tice side by side right now. And this is a valuable position for points-wise for Joseph Tice.
Yeah, and as you see right there on the screen right behind him, Carl Shedd has actually caught Riley Grant Davis. Him and Michael Lariah have.
Yep. Tell you what, we got about we're coming down to 14 laps to go here. Oh, contact between Tice and Jacob Adams. That gave a little damage to Adams there. Oh, he put in a bumper to him. He didn't like what he did off turn number 4.
Yeah, but that actually cost him more time over Joseph Tice. So it looks like it affected Jacob Adams more than it did Joseph Tice.
Absolutely. It didn't really, I mean, if anything, it gave a little bumper crinkle damage, spoiler damage to Joseph Tice.
Carl Shedd, Michael Lariah, they have gotten around Riley Grant Davis as now they have got their eyes set on Jacob Adams. They are now only 6.3 seconds back from Michael Fendelson with 13 laps to go.
13 to go. Shedd's coming. Shedd's really gunning down Adams right now. And I know Adams, he's not too happy with Tice right now. Got to keep it calm, cool, and collective until we get to the end of the race. Maybe we'll start brawling like Jeff Gordon and Clint Boyer did back in 2012 here at Phoenix. If anybody remembers that, I'm sure many race fans do. Here we go. Shedd's going underneath the 8. Shedd's going to get him. Now Lariah might follow along. He is.
And then right up front, Ryan Dyson, he has caught Shane Tyrion, so he's going to be battling for that second position here soon. Carl Shedd moving up into 5th. Michael Lariah 6th, as they are about 5/10 behind 4th place, the 5 of Joseph Tice. But meanwhile, Ryan Dyson has caught the 38 of Shane Tyrion as he's looking to the inside off of turn 4. They're going to be door-to-door off the turn. Looks like Shane Tyrion's going to hold him off, but can Ryan Dyson get down underneath of him in turn 1 and use that dog leg to get side by side? It looks like he tried. Maybe lost a little bit of time there to Shane Tyrion. So maybe they're probably pretty even right now, but with these guys battling, that's going to let Carl Shedd, Joseph Tice, and Michael Lariah catch them.
10 to go. Coming down to 9 to go. Fendelson out front. Not being pressured. This remains green. He should be okay. Battle for second. Dyson and Tyrion. Valuable points on the line right here for Shane Tyrion. He wants to try to get that extra point ahead. He's still trying to fight him off. Can't blame him, but the more they fight him off, the more you're kind of allowing Joseph Tice. Actually, Tice is under attack right now. Tice is under attack from Carl Shedd and Lariah.
Yeah, but we're only 8 laps to go. Do they have enough time to crack the top 3? I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
I think the pit strategy from Tice and Shedd just is not going to pay off tonight.
Tyrion does a very good job on holding off Dyson, but that battle for back there for 4th heated up drastically. Shedd is now underneath Tice, side by side to the line.
7 laps to go.
Shedd's gonna get him. Oh, we're gonna go 3 wide. Last time Lariah did this, it cost Lariah doing a ballsy move, but it's working. He knows what he's got to do. He's fighting for this championship. He ain't going to be denied. He's battling Shedd. It's time to go. Tice actually got the worst end of the deal on that one. He just lost 2 positions in 1 corner of the track. Almost contact between Shedd and Lariah. Shed gets a nice run off turn number 2. Shane Tyrion's about to lose second from Dyson, which he does. 5 laps to go. Keep in mind, folks, iRacing does not have green-white checkered finishes. So if a caution would have came out right now, it would end the race. And that would mean Fennelson would get the victory.
Also, congratulations to Michael Fennelson. He is going to lead the most laps here, now leading 62 laps of 150 here at Phoenix. 4 laps to go. As we take a look at Joseph Tice, he's lost back into 6th. Carl Shed 4th, but he is still 1.7 seconds behind Shane Tyrion, who's in 3rd. Ryan Dyson moving up into 2nd, but he's 1.8 seconds behind our race leader. That's the 14 of Michael Fennelson.
3 to go. I don't think Shed and them is going to catch him.
No. And as you said, if the yellow comes out now, that's going to end the race.
Yep. So when we get to the white flag lap, which is going to be in 2 laps, let's just, on the white flag lap, we'll keep the camera on the leader. Just kind of follow him to the checkers. See him come across the line when he takes the checkered flag. But hey, that doesn't mean to go away after we get the checkered flag here, folks, because we're going to be talking to the top 3 drivers, Fennelson, Dyson, and Shane Tyrion, providing that they are in Discord, of course. Get their thoughts and opinions about the race and what's there to come, what's there to look forward to of Homestead, which is next week. Join us next week here on Dre Broadcast Network, Homestead Miami Speedway, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the championship race.
White flag is out.
Yep, the white flag is out. He's coming to take the checkers here. Through turns 3 and 4, a green flag pit stop strategy put Fennelson into this position. He will lead the most laps and take the checkered flag at Phoenix. Ryan Dyson 2nd. Shane Tyrion holds on for 3rd. Carl Shed 4th. Lariah in 5th. Joseph Tice in 6th. All right, Dave, should I bring him up now, or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and bring him up as we are focusing on the 14 of Michael Fennelson, our race leader, our race winner for here tonight at Phoenix.
All right, trying to find my drivers here. Interview waiting room. We got Dyson. Dyson's not top 3 though. Actually, I'm not even seeing them in here. You want Dyson, Fennelson. They're not in here. Yeah, we got Dyson. Let's talk to Dyson here. Ryan Dyson, Dre Broadcasting Network. Do you have a copy?
Loud and clear.
Well, Dyson, that was a very interesting race. We've seen a lot of cautions at the start of the race, but everything seemed like it just calmed down a little bit, and you got that long green flag run. Tell you what, with this new build, how differently do these Cup cars now drive? Because we've seen that it was only about a second and a half of your fall off on lap times. Do care to comment on all that?
All I'll say is I wish it was like this all year, and the 28 machine might be in a little different position, as you can tell. But yeah, my take from tonight is you actually have to drive the cars. They're not slot cars anymore. It was a lot of fun. I can't wait till next week. I'm hoping the 1.5 miles are a little bit looser too, and a little bit more on edge, and they drive the way a Cup car should drive. Is basically my takeaway from tonight.
Absolutely, they overhauled the physics and the torque on these cars, pretty much bring them up to a real life standard, even though everything is laser scanned, but to the real life thing. But they just made it so much better from the way I'm seeing it out there as a race fan watching you guys here tonight. But I tell you what, how in the world did you get up there in the top 3? Because Ryan, you started 10th here tonight, and you were running in the top 10, but eventually you found your way up in the top 5. How'd your night go overall?
I feel bad for Josh Adams. I think it was like lap 2. I wasn't expecting him to come down. I locked it up and caused that incident, and so I actually went back to 16th, I think, and drove up to 2nd. And I don't know what I could have done differently. I was definitely faster than Michael there at the end. I just didn't have enough time, and it took me a couple extra laps to get around the 8 car and a couple extra laps to get around Shane, and I think that might have been the difference. But they were racing me clean, so I didn't want to like slide up and door them to get around them or anything. So I took the extra couple of laps, and just to finish second and actually legitimately earn a second place finish is a 360-degree turn from most of the races this season. So I'm ecstatic, and I'm happy for Michael. He definitely earned that one.
All right, Ryan. Now, how were your tires tonight? Because we did see Jacob Adams. He stayed out with no tires, I think, after like 12 laps and just dropped like a rock. But as soon as he put 2 tires on him that put him back up there in the top 5 in the lead, he was able to hang on for a number of laps. It was like, David would have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like 40 laps he hung on those 2 tires. It seems like the tires are different now than what we are accustomed to.
Yeah, it felt more like we were actually into the track, if that makes sense. It didn't feel like we were just kind of floating around on top of it, and I keep using the term slot cars, but it felt almost like we were actually into the track, and there was actually some more grip there, and the tires almost fell off realistic. I'm really curious to see how it goes at 1.5 miles, because for about a year now we've been on that run 33 laps pit, run 33 laps pit, which is not the way it should be. So I'm really hoping with the positive things that happen tonight, next week when we get to 1.5 miles, we can see something longer than a 33 lap run. Something sort of what you would see in real life is kind of the hope.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we go to Homestead Miami Speedway, which you just spoke of. Homestead, think about going to try to get that victory there one last time before we begin a new season in 2018?
I would love to. I had no idea what the heck to expect tonight, and to come out here and run second. I had no practice all week, and I really think the way the Cup cars are now is going to fit my driving style a lot. So you never know. We'll head to Miami next week and watch the championship battle between the 4 guys, which it's going to be pretty damn tight now after tonight. So I'll just kind of try my own business next week and see how that unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. It was a great race tonight as far as championship contention is concerned. It's going to be really interesting to see next week at Homestead. Ryan, thank you for taking the time to come talk with us here tonight, and best of luck to you next week.
Thanks, guys.
That was Ryan Dyson, folks, finishing in the 2nd position tonight. Let's go a position up the 1st place down in Victory Lane to Michael Fennelson. And Michael, do you have a copy?
I got you.
Michael, I tell you what, that green flag pit stop gave you the winning move here tonight. You pitted just the right time, even though there's a couple drivers that pitted before you. You decided to come in about 2-3 laps later, take on 4 fresh tires, and you were pretty patient about it until you got to Shane Tyrion there, and you really kind of took advantage of that, got by him, got the win. Congratulations on that. Tell me about your race. It seemed like tire fall off wasn't as drastic as we have seen it in years past on iRacing. Do you care to comment on the cars since the update here tonight?
First off, about the update, I am so surprised that high line even came into play that race. I mean, Jake, I learned it from him in the early parts of the race. He was really abusing that high line. I'm like, does this really work? So I went up there and tried it and got past Jake a few times doing that. And I guess finishing that topic, I was really surprised at a night track at Phoenix with pretty cool temperatures that you're able to do that. But there was definitely different grooves to run at night, and it was a lot of fun to drive. I mean, it wasn't the normal tight night setup that you usually have that's super grippy. I mean, it had a lot of grip, but you definitely had to manage that grip, because if you just push it a little too far, taking advantage of all that grip, you would just miss the corner. So it was a lot of fun to drive. I feel like that is my perfect setting, just not pushing too hard and just being careful on the throttle and stuff like that. I'm usually good at tracks like this, and I look forward to this. I knew I was going to have a good car tonight just because I like Phoenix and I got my first upper edge truck win here. So I really needed this win. It's really definitely a confidence booster, especially in the playoffs here, spoiling it for the guys. And we're going home a win. It's been since last October, so it's nice to do it again.
It's always good to see you, Michael, back in victory lane, even though you have been really competitive this season. Just had not been able to notch up that win of the year. But, I mean, were you surprised at all on how well Two Tires really stood up? Because it was about 12 to 13 laps of Jacob Adams taking 2 tires after before that, he took no tires and dropped like a rock. Then he took 2 tires, got the race lead, and hung on for like 40 laps. Were you surprised by that?
I'm not. Yeah, Jake, that was really surprising to me. But I was out front and I was just pulling away from him. Well, not really pulling away. I was staying even because I was trying to save tires. But Jake really, like I said, that high line came into big play tonight, and he really abused it, which is perfect for him because it really worked out for him, and he really kept those guys at bay for a long time and got himself a good finish tonight anyway. So, or did he? Oh no, he finished 8th. Well, it's still a good run for him. I mean, he definitely abuse that outside line. I'm saying that like a broken record, but I am so surprised that outside line even came in. I tried it a few times, but I just wanted to keep the bottom and get to the finish. But yeah, Jake was definitely competitive. It was nice seeing him up there. It was nice battling Carl and Laria early in the race. I know Carl, he's a threat every single week, no matter where we go. He is just so unbelievably fast. And to beat him, especially in the playoffs when he's at his highest, trying to get his best finishes, and same with Laria, Tice, and Shane. It's nice for Shane to get a good finish tonight, beat all the other guys in the playoffs right now. He's obviously my teammate. We're breaking apart at the end of the season, but we're still really good friends. And yeah, we battled there at the end. I was getting a little impatient with him because I caught him from so far back, and I knew he was on older tires, and I had to get by him, and I pretty much had the race if there wasn't a caution. So, I mean, I kept beating the back bumper off and trying, but I finally got to move under him. But hopefully it wasn't too aggressive. I don't look like a tool, but yeah, I brought home the win finally. It's been a long time coming. It was a great race.
Sounds like all you guys and also the community like the updates to the NASCAR side as far as the cars. But now we go to a different track next week, and that's going to be Homestead Miami Speedway, a 1.5 mile racetrack. What, in your opinion, what would you expect? And do you think you can get back to victory lane back-to-back next week at Homestead?
Well, I definitely don't want to count it out after this confidence boost that I got tonight. At Homestead, in the last build, I remember since the finale was a couple weeks ago for Real NASCAR, they had AFIX and all that, NIS, and I ran really well, and like weirdly well in AFIX and all that with the old setup, but I haven't really tested the new the package and all that yet. So I'm gonna go test that this week. Hopefully, run some good with it, and I think I won a few of those AFIX races. That was really good. The high line came into play. Hopefully next week the high line will come into play. Low line will still be there, middle line. So it'll be a multi-groove race, and you guys can watch an awesome race for the championship. That'll be a perfect scenario. Hopefully that can happen, and that will really determine how this build goes, because 1.5 mile tracks like that are a big factor in NASCAR. Obviously, they go to a lot of them. So if they could perfect those on iRacing side, then it should be a lot of fun next week. But I'm looking forward to that. Before you guys let me off, I just want to thank everybody. Definitely Rento. They have a special Monopoly game. It's just a couple bucks on Steam. It's free on your phone. They're a new sponsor. They just hopped on board. You can see them on my paint scheme. Check them out. Thanks for them for hopping on. And Mobile One, obviously, for staying on this car for a few years now. They were there for my first Cup win, and now they're still on my car for the second Cup win. And Evil Motorsports, Walker and Shane, they've been great to work with over the last few years, and Sky Motorsports guys too. I mean, I've been with them for so long. We're still going to be great friends after this, even though we're all splitting apart. Well, not all of us, but I think I'm going to start my own team, and they left for Bulletproof. But good luck to them in their future races. Congrats to Ryan on the second place, Shane on the third, and congrats to those Championship 4 having really clean and good races tonight. Thanks to Sunoco Racing Fuels, New England Racing Fuels, and Mike Joy and those guys. And thanks for Brendan Howe, obviously, tonight. He was my crew chief on board, and he really helped me out. He was the guy that called that strategy to split that last run in half on lap 95 in pit, no matter what. And it definitely worked out. Thanks to some supporters I have, Ryan Hartz, who's cheering me on every week in the Facebook chat, and Sean Peleg, he's a spotter of mine. Brett Fauci spotted for me last week. Thanks for Ryan Dyson hosting the league and Upper Edge. It's been tons of fun. And thanks for you guys for broadcasting. And I think I got everything out of the way.
I know Ryan pretty good. Ryan Hertz, raced with him in the past there, both console and iRacing. Good guy. But Michael, thank you for taking the time to come talk with us here tonight, and best of luck at next week at Homestead. That was Michael Fennelson, folks, winning the race tonight here at Phoenix. So let's go to third place to Mr. Shane Tyrion. And Shane Tyrion, do you have a copy?
I got you.
Well, Shane, you almost got the victory tonight to give you some valuable points, but you're not out of this championship yet because anything can happen. A lot of racing to go, at least next week at Homestead Miami Speedway for, I believe, 100 and how many laps is it next week? It's Miami 200. I actually don't have a lap count. 133 laps next week at Homestead. And Shane, you almost won tonight, man. Could you do anything different to try to hold off those two drivers of Ryan Dyson and Michael Fennelson? I know you tried, but you think you could have tried anything different?
I don't think so. I just couldn't get turn one. I was watching the relative the last, like, I don't know, 20 laps before Michael caught me. He was only catching me in turn one by like a good almost 2/10, and I was keeping it even in 3 or 4. But if I could have done something different in turn one and kept him even behind me and slowly catch me, I probably could have won. But I couldn't figure it out. It was definitely take third. Came in here just like, yeah, I'm gonna need points. I definitely can't compete with Carl and Michael, and they're just so fast every week. I just don't understand. Even on a new build, they're still crazy fast. So I had to do something, and I think I got to make up, I think, 9 or 8 points next week. So it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, you know, just imagine if you would have won the race tonight, gained some pretty good points, but the championship is still in a close quarters here going into Homestead. And Shane, by finishing ahead of those guys tonight, that has to give you a good confidence boost entering Homestead Miami Speedway, that a strategy like what you pulled off tonight can work and can bring you to victory lane. It certainly did for Michael Fennelson. But what is in your opinion tonight? I did talk to Dyson and Fennelson on their thoughts, but what are your thoughts on this new build of these cars now? Because it seems like it's so much different, more fun to drive, and a little more on a realistic end as far as NASCAR terms and the rules package are concerned. What were your thoughts on this package tonight?
Yeah, I got a good test in the package yesterday. It was the Xfinity car, and those cars are actually really well. They're no longer extremely full throttle anymore. So I was curious how the Cup cars are going to be. Considering the B cars are really, really good, you could take 2 tires on those, and the tires are great. So going to the A car, I was hoping that it was going to be a plus on that one, and it was. It's no longer just full throttle and hold your line sensitive. You can miss your line a little bit and still gain time or barely lose any time in this Cup car. The tires held out great. Speed was dropped just like you would in real life, and I was really impressed with it. It made everyone equal. I don't know if you guys saw, but when Michael was leading and Jake was holding everybody up, we were all just even. No one was pulling away from anybody. It was crazy. So it definitely took it by surprise. They're definitely going in the right direction with this Cup car. But I'm curious to see how a 1.5 miles is going to be in this.
Yeah, speaking in 1.5 miles, what do you think is going to happen with these Cup cars in 1.5 miles? Because tonight we've seen lap times fall off just about 1.5 seconds. And I know I read on the forums that depending upon the racetrack, the lap times can fall from anywhere between 1.5 seconds to 3 seconds. How do you think it's going to play out with this package next week at Homestead? And on top of that, do you think you can try to get the victory lane next week at Homestead?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was really good at Homestead in the old package, where it was tight, but it would get so tight it would get loose. And I think it's going to be the complete opposite. I think at Homestead it's going to go back to just being extremely loose, and you're going to have to definitely save your tires. Or it could just be the opposite. It's going to be loose and just get really, really tight in the long run. I have no idea with Homestead. Homestead's a different animal than other 1.5 miles, but I hope I can keep the streak going at that track. I've been really good there in the long runs. I think that's the only 1.5 miles that I could probably beat Carl and Laria at, but it's going to be tough with the points deficit.
All right, Shane. Well, best of luck next week at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Thank you for taking the time to come talk with us here tonight. Sorry for the long wait in the interview room, but we definitely made it past it, and best of luck next week at Homestead.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
That was Shane Tyrion, folks, finishing third tonight. Coulda, shoulda, woulda won, but Dave, let's run through the results here before we pack her up. Michael Fennelson is going to get the race win tonight. Ryan Dyson in second. Shane Tyrion third. Carl Shed fourth. Michael Laraya in 5th. Joseph Tice will finish in 6th. Riley Grant Davis in the 24 car finishes 7th. Jacob Adams, strong run tonight, will finish in 8th. Robert Kenny in 9th. Nick Massey rounding out the top 10. Walker Thomas in 11th. Jamie Dyson in 12th. Tommy Amassi in 13th. Corey Blevins in 14th. 15th place, Joshua Adams. Bradley Burke in 16th. And rounding out the 17-car field will be Justin Munsell. Dave, final thoughts of Phoenix as before we get to Homestead Miami Speedway to pack her up.
Well, we saw a hard-fought battle with a car that they didn't know quite how it was going to handle, but they're going to pack it up. They're taking it to Homestead Miami. They are going to know exactly. They know what they got to do because this championship just got a little tighter. So it'll be interesting to see how it's all going to play out next week, as we are going to be crowning a champion here in Upper Edge Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by Our Expression, live on Dre Broadcasting next Thursday.
Absolutely. We would like to thank the Upper Edge Racing League for allowing us to broadcast their show tonight, bring it to you viewers at home for this championship battle all season long. Also, thanks to the team here tonight. Big thanks to Dave Everly for putting on the show with all the button pushing and all the double duty he does to do these broadcasts. Join us next week for the last race of the Profile Machine Products Cup Series, powered by Our Expression of the Upper Edge Racing League, the Miami 200 at Homestead Miami Speedway. 4 drivers, 1 champion, December 14th at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live here on the Dre Broadcasting Network. I'm Tanner Sharp. This is David Everly. Good night, everybody.